I'm here at the FlyQuest facility. Do you guys have a clever name for this place?
No.
Because 100 Thieves is the compound. There's the alien retraining facility. You guys are the FlyQuest offices, I guess.
Yeah, it's FlyQuest office.
We'll get right back to the rest of the video in just a second. But did you know Worlds is coming up? And why not, ahead of Worlds, enter a new world with Boot.dev, the sponsor of this video. With Boot.dev, you can learn back-end web development from start to finish in the Python and Go programming languages. And I know that might sound not super fun, but Boot.dev makes it fun by turning it into a game. That's right, it's an RPG game that is self-paced and captivating, and that is why it ends up being the best way to learn programming, because you never get bored. The platform is designed to get you writing a ton of codes, because getting your hands on the keyboard and shipping projects is the only way to really learn. And if you're ever struggling to understand a concept, Boots, a powerful bear wizard that's been trained on each lesson, can walk you through your issues. The creators of Boot.dev never want a student feeling like they spent money on something that isn't helping them, so they offer a 30-day no questions asked refund policy. At Boot.dev, they believe that learning to code is not a get-rich-quick scheme, and going deep into the materials and taking time on the fundamentals so that you are as prepared as you can be for your job search. One of the things I love about Boot.dev is they understand that not everyone has the money to spend on a membership, and so all their content is free to read and watch in guest mode. But the paid membership unlocks interactivity and the game that goes alongside it. Click the link in the description and use my code to get 25% off your first month or even your first year if you decide to sign up for the annual plan.
FlyQuest office to me. So.
FlyQuest office, okay. So I'm here at the FlyQuest office. I'm joined by Inspired right now, who's headed off to Worlds. When are you guys leaving?
On Friday, I would say. I think Friday, yeah.
Okay, Friday. And are you guys, I know some of the teams are going to hang out with Team Liquid and the Netherlands. Are you going straight to Berlin?
Yeah, we are going straight to Berlin. We're gonna bootcamp there
Yes.
before Worlds and then start play first games there, I guess.
Yeah. Are you excited to be back in Berlin?
Yeah, it will be first time playing on the LEC stage, on the new one. Like, yeah, I'm excited. I have never played there yet. I mean, it's the same
Studio.
It's the same studio, but
Yeah.
completely renovated. So yeah, I can't wait.
What about like, is there a food place that you're like, oh, I can't wait to go back to this food place?
There are a few that I was already talking to my teammates that we can go there to eat something nice.
Yeah, that is awesome. All right, so you're headed off on Friday. Before we talk about World stuff, I do want to talk to you a little bit about winning finals, because we didn't get a chance to do that. You guys did the press conference. What was sort of the experience of winning? I don't want to talk yet about the minions, but just in general, I mean, did you guys expect to win that series? I know Team Liquid had been undefeated before then.
I mean, to me it was like kind of 50-50. Like when we lost to them in the upper bracket like 2 weeks earlier or whatever, a week earlier, like the games were pretty close, and I felt like we made a lot of mistakes and the game were still close. So it just gave me a lot of confidence that we can actually beat them. It's kind of similar situation to our C9 series, like the same, like we lost in regular season last week, and then I was like, they didn't actually play well, and we played pretty bad, and the games were still close. So then we won against Cloud9, and here it was kind of similar to TL. Like I felt like we didn't really play well, and we took 2 games off of them. So I kind of feel like if we get lucky on the day, or if we just like play better, maybe we can beat them, and I think that's what kind of happened. Like I think they didn't really perform to their standards. We played fine, and luck was on our side.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So.
You said if we could play a little better, and if we get lucky, and boy did you get lucky.
Yeah.
All right, so I know there's already been a ton of content that I made about this, but I just want to ask you, what was going through your head as all this happens? Because there have been many times where, you know, like there's a couple people that are dead, 2 other are rushing the Nexus. This, as I was watching it, I was like, this is so funny, because whatever is going to happen, the FlyQuest players are all just sitting there watching. Like you can't do anything. It's just the 5 of you, hands off keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
And whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So what was it like for you sitting there watching all that?
Oh, I mean, I was already like barely even watching my screen. I was like thinking about that Game 5 draft, and none of us even noticed the bot wave. Like legit 2 seconds before the game finished, Quad started saying something like, look minions, look my Nexus. And then I like put my camera there, like legit I put my camera there, and then it insta explode. I'm like, what?
So did it take you a second to recognize what had just happened?
Yeah, I was like, what minions just packed up the game?
Yes.
Bro, I've never seen that even in solo queue games.
Yeah.
And I'm playing this game for like 11, 12 years. Like,
Yeah.
it's just unbelievable.
Yeah. What? So what were the conversations like immediately after? I guess there's no chance. Did you guys even talk to each other before the interview?
We were just laughing. Like,
Yeah.
I was just laughing. Like, I couldn't believe what just happened.
You're laughing, and then you just have to get up, and you have to like fist bump or shake hands with them, and then you just walk out. You do the interview. So when was the first moment that you guys got to talk to each other and be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that just happened"?
Oh, I don't know. Like the moment we already like shake hands with enemy team, and then we came in the group, and like the coaching staff came, and they all started screaming as well. And we were like, "Oh my God, minions!" Like,
that's so crazy. Yeah. I just think it's so funny how everything went down, and especially just that picture of you guys all. Because I was interviewing last night. We had Nuke Duck and Demonte on, and they also said that they're in the back, and they were already prepping for Game 5 Game 5, and it took them a second to realize what was happening. So it's just so funny how crazy it was for all of you.
And also like the other highlight of SES with the Danny Pentakill happened to me as well when I had the race screen and I was watching it, and I was thinking that nothing will like overcome that highlight. I guess never say never. Like right now, the minions just backdoor the game.
Yeah.
Like
you need to spend more time dead because I think that's how the games get turned in your favor.
The highlights just happen.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So what happened immediately after? Because you guys go on stage, you do the interview, do the trophy lift. I guess maybe they give you a little bit behind the scenes, and then you go and do the press conference. What happened the rest of that day?
Oh, I was just resting. I was so tired.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, there was so much emotion, and I was drinking my caffeine, like coffee before the game, and then I obviously chewed the gum during the game, so I also take extra caffeine, and then I was like so tired and so happy and relieved that we won.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was just happy for my teammates because 3 of them never won, and Bwipo also been really long time since he won. So I was happy we managed to do that, and
you guys, I think on Saturday night, you guys just hung out here and had like a party, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys haven't even done like the victory dinner yet, right?
No, we didn't. It will happen in
tomorrow,
a day or two.
Yeah. Nuke Duck was saying you guys were gonna go do a big dinner. What has it been like in the last couple of days? Are you guys just like chilling and relaxing and?
Yeah, I think I mean our schedule was pretty busy this whole year. I guess first spring split, then MSI, then summer split into Esports World Cup, into now this. So we didn't really have any time off.
Yeah.
So right now is the first time where we have like more than 2 days in a row off. So I think we are just resting a little bit, and we are heading back or like heading to Europe soon, and then we'll start playing again.
Did you have any friends from LEC or anybody that messaged you about the game or the win?
Yeah, a lot of friends. I mean, Hans messaged me, so I said, "No problem, Hans, for beating your old team."
Oh yeah. That's cool. So you ended up talking to him. That's cool. Did anybody say like, "I can't believe that happened" or "What a crazy finish" or anything?
Oh yeah, everyone. I mean, I don't think anyone would ever like expect the ending like this.
Yes,
like you can't even imagine this happening.
Yeah. That's cool. All right, so you're now headed off to Worlds. What are your expectations for this team at Worlds?
I just hope we'll do better than we did at MSI. I think at MSI we kind of like collapsed after losing 1 game, and then we like the game against T1, like we lost it, and then we kind of lost our confidence, stuff like that. I feel like it might happen here that we lose a game, so we need to stay stronger even if it happens that we lose to some Asian team in in the tough manner. So I think for sure scrims will be easier because I think our bot lane is already like they know what to expect, while at the MSI it was like their first time playing against Asian teams.
Yeah.
And what I expect from us is I want to beat at least 1 Asian team. I think beating 1 of them will give us a lot of momentum, and if we manage to beat 1, I can see us beat few of them. And I feel like beating the Asian teams always is so satisfying. Like I managed to do it only on Rogue when we played against FPX in group stage. It was so satisfying beating world champions on a big stage. So I'm hoping I can do it again.
Yeah. Are you excited to face any like of your former teammates or anybody in the LEC?
I guess G2, because they're like the kings of Europe, and I used to lose to Cups a lot. So I guess I'm looking forward to play against G2 because I don't know, I just can't beat them. So
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So they're like your personal rival.
Yeah.
Then. Okay. All right. So looking forward to face against G2. What are your expectations for yourselves and also I guess for Team Liquid? Because I know everybody's sort of like, well, 100 Thieves is going to do what they're going to do, but it seems like you guys are pretty neck and neck in terms of skill. So for both of you, what do you think you can accomplish at Worlds?
I think definitely we need to get good read of meta. I think right now the meta might change quite heavily going into Worlds.
Big patch, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like it will affect every team around the world. I feel like whoever will pick up the patch the best might have the easiest time playing at Worlds. So I feel like if we wanna do good, both us and TL, we have to get a really good idea on that and kind of be ahead of everyone. Because I think skill-wise we have potential, but I wouldn't say we are favorites. But I feel like us and them, we have like good mindset when it comes to the game, and we have good game knowledge. So if we can also combine it with figuring out the meta faster than other teams, I think this will give us an edge that we can use in order to beat the Asian teams.
Yeah. Do you think that the LCS teams can figure out the meta? Because I just feel like for so long the expectation is that like, oh, the LPL and LCK teams will define the meta, and then sometimes you have like a crazy LEC team that comes in and like shakes things up. And I don't feel like people have had that expectation for LCS teams. But do you think that the LCS is now at a point in time where we are able to sort of dictate that stuff? Maybe being patch first or whatever for LCS?
I feel like in LCS, like this year when we've been playing the earliest on the new patch, I feel like LCS was pretty good at like figuring out what's good and what's not. Like usually when the LCK starts playing on our patch, they kind of play what we were. So like it just shows us that our idea was good on the fact what is good. And other than that, I don't know. It seems like our region was pretty creative when it comes to picks. Like for example, Amumu, I feel like it's a really strong champ, and it was not really picked in other regions. So for sure there should be like champions like this on the new patch that you can kind of look into and try to abuse, I guess, at Worlds.
Sure.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Kind of reflecting on this past year, because I like to think of this interview as also kind of like capping off your whole LCS season. What has it been like playing with FlyQuest compared to some of the previous teams that you've played with?
It was fun, but it was a bit stressful, and I don't know, I didn't expect us to go back to back in finals. I felt like the team will be weaker, but our results were really good, so I'm happy about it because I don't know, on EG I had higher expectations. I felt like we were like a really strong team, and I guess we also did good. We won Spring Split and then we finished third in summer. I don't know, honestly, I'm not sure. I expected us to do worse than we did, so I'm happy we managed to make it to the final and then win another split.
Why were your expectations lower for this team? You just thought new team or new lineup or something?
Yeah, it's new team, and I also didn't know how Masu and Busio play. Like Busio was just like fine support to me when I played against him when I was on EG and he was on the Thieves, and Masu, like he obviously is a rookie in LCS, and I also didn't really think Jensen is like a god mid laner. That I played with Jojo, and I feel like Jojo was just always getting ahead of him when I played against Jensen. So I didn't really have like expectation of us going there to LCS and like winning everything, but yeah, it almost happened twice, so I'm happy about it. I think the fact that Quad joined us in summer gave us extra motivation and just pushed us forward, and I think that's why we managed to win the summer split.
Not to bait you into another interview like you did after spring, but I am kind of wondering how much Quad changed the dynamic for the team coming into summer, because I think there were a lot of people who thought like, okay, Jensen has all this experience. Like he had been on the team. Like maybe it's a mistake for them to be swapping out mid laners in the middle of the split. So what were the changes that the team took on when Quad joined?
I feel like we didn't need that much experience on the team. So I feel like the fact that Jensen had his way of play, which I think is fine. Like he obviously won a lot the way he played, and he kind of kept playing like he liked to. Like he liked to play slow game without really interacting much with enemy team, just more like waiting for enemy mistakes to happen, which I think is the way that you could play in NA back in the days. And I feel like someone would make mistake that you would capitalize on. But right now, especially when we played against TL, it seemed like we had to be more proactive in order to win games. We couldn't just wait and hope that they make a mistake. I think it worked pretty well against the bottom teams because it would usually happen, but against top team, it can't just be your gameplay, just to like game plan to just wait for them to make a mistake. And Quad to me seems like a patient player that is also willing to make plays. Like he has good eye for the game. When he's stronger than an enemy, he thinks he can impact the game. He will communicate with his team. For example, now I can push mid, I wanna roam somewhere or do something, and it just makes our life a bit easier. And on top of that, he's also really good at laning, so he always has like laning advantages. So overall, he's a great player, so it just became easier for everyone around him to play the game.
I vaguely recall an interview that I did. I'm trying to remember the player. I think it was an EG player back in like 2020, where they were talking about how mid lane was. I think it was mid laners were so passive in the LCS,
Yeah.
and that had been for a long time. And what you're saying right now kind of reminds me of that. Do you feel like in your time in the LCS, obviously you have JoJo on your team who is certainly not passive, but with players like APA, with Quad, with Quid, et cetera, do you feel like the game has shifted, especially for mid and jungle, in a much more proactive way?
I think so, especially when we play against 100 Thieves, they're playing very proactively, or they're trying to. Same for Cloud9,
Yeah.
but against Team Liquid, they're playing a bit differently. APA, no matter what champion he picks, he's not looking to get advantage 1v1. He's just looking to push his lane and try to like move around the map. So that's what we had going on. Like we said, we can pick any champ against APA because he's not gonna try to win lane anyway. He's just gonna try to push. He has like very specific playstyle. Like no matter what he plays, hits the wave and roams either bot or top. He doesn't care about just 1v1 matchup, which is like way different than other NA mids, because NA mids usually were trying to like just stay in lane and focus on getting CS lead, while that guy is just focusing on pushing wave and leaving and doing something. And Quad, on the other hand, he likes to play like more flexible. Like if he has a good matchup, he will try to deny you CS and try to get ahead, but also try to roam when it's a good timing. So he's like more flexible. Well, I think that's a issue for NA mids, that they're not flexible. Like they either have playstyle of moving or they wanna win lane. Which I think you have to be more flexible if you're a mid laner.
Yeah. I remembered as you were saying this, I think it was Jizuke. And yeah, he was saying that it was a situation where, like, I'm happy that you're saying that they now actually do something, because his criticism at the time, and I think a lot of people agreed, were like, NA mid laners would just farm. Yeah. They would just farm and farm.
That's kind of how the Ericsson versus Jensen matchup played to me. Like, when these two match up, I feel like they played very similarly because it worked for them in the past, and that's how they just play.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's this like kind of new generation of players that are shifting the way that LCS plays?
I mean, for sure, because everyone wanna be better than the enemy, so like you always look for like advantages you can get, and I think looking for like plays that are not really, you don't have to put a lot of commitment in the mid lane. Like once you push the lane, you always have like free time to make something happen. So this type of angles like give you free advantage if it works.
Yeah.
So that's something you have to look out for if you want to progress the game as a mid laner.
Yeah. Going back to the team, was there any, besides the fact that you guys overperformed your expectations, was there anything else that surprised you about the team or the players that were on it? Like, I don't know if you had, a specific expectation about like Busio or Masu or somebody like that, well, you ended up being surprised.
I mean, I was surprised of how good mechanically Masu and Busio are, because I mean, to me, like, I don't know, I thought they are just would be like mediocre players, but mechanic wise, like, I don't know, Busio can play like any champion in support, probably the best mechanical support I played with. I think his game knowledge was lacking, but he could just like pick any mage in the bot lane and just play it really well. So that was really impressive. And same for Masu, like he can play any champion in the bot lane. Like his Ezreal, especially, like Ezreal is like ultimate test for ADCs. If you are like really good on Ezreal, it means you can play anything, and Ezreal is probably his best champion. So it's just I was just surprised of how good mechanically they are, and then we just try to teach them about how to play the team game and get on the same page in order to make everyone's life easier. And I think that was like the biggest thing we accomplished this year.
For Masu, who got Rookie of the Year, what did you see about his progress over the course of the year? Like, obviously, so you said you were able to teach them about how to play the game, but was there anything in particular that you saw like he improved dramatically on over the course of these last 9 months? Yeah,
just having like idea in the game. Like whenever he picks a champion, now he knows what his job is. Like if he picks Ashe to win lane and push his lane and be ready for objectives, he's never like wasting time in the game. He's just taking good recalls, and then he's in good condition to force fights. And then when he's playing some scaling champ, he knows that all he needs to do is just try to not get dove and like get as much CS as possible. And in mid game, he also had some issue that sometimes when no one from us was pressuring the game, he was just walking up mid just to push the wave. Like that was double lift issue. Like when I played against double lift, like whenever happens, if he's strong in the game but his team is like not ready to play, he will walk up mid and try to push wave for no reason. And I told Masu, like, if your team is not playing, it doesn't matter if you push it or not. You can just wait. You can like do something else maybe. And that's what he like tries. That's what he started doing. Like tries to be involved more into the game. So like he's looking at the big picture. If there is something going on top side, then he will start pushing mid wave and walk top side to make a play. And he just thinks more about what he can do. Like he's communicating with his team and like, just playing the game more of on a team side. I also told him that you can ask your teammates to do stuff for you. It's not a solo queue game. Like you don't have to not say anything and just like don't really ask for attention. Like as in a team game, you can, if you have some idea or you need help, you can just tell your team. And it goes the other way around as well. Like if you can help someone, you can also say something. And that just makes everyone's life easier, and I think that's what he improved the most.
Well, he's kind of a quiet guy in general, right? Like I feel like when I talk to him, he's very quiet.
Yeah, he's a very quiet guy that doesn't like to offend anyone and doesn't like to annoy anyone. So it's like if he needs help, he might not even say anything.
Yeah.
So it's just like it shouldn't be like that. Like if you need help and you're playing a champion that is like win condition of your team, you need to be vocal that you need help. Like you can't just stay quiet.
Is that funny at all whenever he's playing with you in Bwipo? Because I feel like you guys come from what, like, EU has this reputation, right, of just being like so blunt, so critical. Like sometimes the North American people think that it's like toxic or whatever, but I think for Europe they just consider like this is the way we talk. Was that like a bit of a clash in the beginning where it's like you guys would just be like, what are you doing? He's like, sorry.
He never really like, I mean, there was maybe like few times where he got like really mad when we were like talking to him because we are expecting him to do something well, and then he's like not doing it, and then he thinks he did something right, and then we're gonna like, no, you did this wrong, like you should do it like this, and he's like, but what am I supposed to do? And then he gets mad, and sometimes it happens, but most of the time like he didn't really get mad. I mean, sometimes we also like maybe went a bit too hard on him, but he has a good mentality for improving. I feel like he always like takes every feedback we give to him, and he like reflects on it and looks to like put it into his gameplay, like everything we tell him. So I don't know, work ethic of our bot lane seems pretty good to me. Like I feel like both of them from every day they're reviewing scrims at the end of the day with their coaches and just trying to get better, and it's working pretty well for them.
What do you think of, and I feel like I can ask you this because you're already so candid, what did you think of Bwipo's performance over the course of the split? Because I think there were a lot of people who felt like he was having rough weeks, and then I think over playoffs, certainly it seemed like he improved and was much stronger, especially in the 100 Thieves game. So I guess what do you think of his performance over the course of summer split and playoffs?
I mean, he was pretty shaky at the beginning of the split. I think everyone knew it. I think he knew it as well. Like he wasn't really sure what champs he's supposed to play, and he was just not sure what champions he should be playing for the team. Because you can either play like those funny counter picks, or a lot of teams were just picking Cassante 1-2 like Team Liquid. And we are like at the beginning of the season, we're thinking, is it legal pick Cassante 1-2? Is Cassante like that OP? Should we do it? Should we not do it? Should we ban it? Should we play against it? And then the Rumble also came out, which ended up being really OP. Like before he was even that OP in the spring split, we were leaving Rumble open against Team Liquid, even though Impact is like a really good Rumble player. So these players, we banned it every single game. So also we didn't really know what to do about Rumble. Like should we be playing him or banning him or like giving and play against it? So I felt like just the fact that there was so much chaos with the champs, like he couldn't really focus that well on the gameplay. And I think going into playoffs, we kind of figured out what we should be playing, when we should be using the top counter pick, and when we should just stick to picking tanks. So I feel like it just became a bit easier for him to focus on his own gameplay.
What do you think of the memes or the accusations of like Renekton one trick?
I mean, they just kept leaving Renekton open. I love Renekton, so like, he also loves Renekton. I'm like, coaches love Renekton, just pick Renekton, bro.
It's true. All right, so We talked about Bwipo. We talked about all the players now. I think actually the one last question I kind of had on the players or on the teammate stuff is like, what was it like working with Busio? Because like Masu seems, as you said, quiet, not interested in offending anybody.
Yeah.
Busio just seems like he always wants to be like a good guy, you know. And it's funny because I feel like you could be a little more edgy, right? Like the interviews I've done between the two of you couldn't be more different than each other. And so, was there any kind of was it ever weird to navigate that and that he's so different in so many ways? I can't even get him to swear in an interview.
Yeah, I mean, Alan is very nice guy.
Yeah.
Like whenever you tell him something in game, he will just do it.
Okay.
So like we needed to tell him like sometimes you need to think for yourself. Like even if someone says something like more overall in the game that we should do something like this, like we should go topside. It's bad for you. You shouldn't just blindly trust it and go there just because someone said that. You can also say, no, I think it's bad for me. I will just do something else.
Yes.
And it was the issue at the beginning that he would always trust whatever anyone said to him, and he would like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And now he's more like, no, I think I should base here. Maybe I should come there. Like if someone asks him if he can roam somewhere, he's like, no, I can't roam now. I need to go back bot. Like I feel like he's making decisions more on his own now, which is way better. Like because if you are just trusting everyone, you will eventually like lose the flow of the game because you need to focus on yourself as well and like your own game plan. And I think that's what he has been doing, and that's what I guess we're working on as well this week.
I know, even though you've been playing for a long time, that you are also a younger player in comparison to some of these other guys.
Yeah.
But when we had Nukeduck and Demonte on Hotline League last night, there was an interesting thing that Demonte talks about where he feels like a lot of the newer players are used to being coached and just sort of doing whatever the coach tells them to do. And what you're saying right now kind of reminds me of that, because for a long time when I did interviews with players and just talking to them behind the scenes, they didn't maybe even respect the coach, but they often felt like they knew better than the coach, even if they were respected. And so they were just always going to do their own thing.
Yeah.
Do you see that at all in the way that FlyQuest works, where like Busio and Masu are just sort of like, we're just do whatever you want us to do, and you guys are the ones that are like pushing more on the vision and the direction?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, from my perspective, for me, when I was starting, I didn't really like listen to coach that much. I was just listening to mostly the players I was playing with, especially like Vander. When I first joined, when we started playing on Rogue, I had Vander as my support, and I knew he has a lot of experience, and he's been through a lot of playoff games, worlds games, and he knows how the game is supposed to be played. So I was like listening to him mostly, and then after that, I was playing, so I knew I saw what's working and what's not working, so I could figure out the stuff myself as well, like in which situation I should do what, and then with practice, overtime practice, just repeating the certain situations and seeing the outcomes, I just realized what I should be doing and what I should avoid. While I think here with Masu and Busio, that was really slow process for them because they were really hardly just listening, and they were not really like doing it through the process of, okay, this didn't work, maybe next time I will change it and do it somewhat different. They would like just listen and don't really think why it didn't work. They just listen and they're like, oh, I listened and it didn't work, why? I don't know. So I feel like that's the big difference. We told them that sometimes you just have to think yourself and don't listen to people. Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, hey, I really do appreciate you sitting down and talking with me about the season. I think it was really fun to see you guys win, especially the way you did. I'm looking forward to seeing how you all perform at Worlds. Is there anything that you want to say to any of the fans out there?
I mean, after every interview, I was always saying thank you for support and hopefully we'll win the split. And we managed to do it. So I'm hoping you guys are happy about it, and keep supporting us.
Hope we win Worlds?
Yeah.
You said hope we win the split. Now you won the split, so the next thing is hope we win Worlds, all right?
Hopefully we'll make quarterfinals first, and then we'll look into more.
Then we do another interview, and then you can say hope we make semis. I see. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the interview. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage leading up to Worlds and Worlds itself right here on my YouTube channel.
Guys? TGI fans? What are you doing in my room? Oh, I see. Travis put a hidden camera in here. It says, Drew, do my outros or I will fire you. Okay. Well, guys, please go ahead and check out the Hotline League that happened last week. We got Nuke Duck and DeMonte, some good insights into the kind of team's mindsets. Go ahead and become a member today. Everything helps. You don't need to, but everything helps. And check out Travis Gafford's Instagram at @TravisGafford_. Have a good day, guys. And please pray for me. I hope I do not get fired.